What is going on, everybody? I hope you are all doing well, and I want to welcome you to my 7th video. So for today's video topic, I want to discuss the difficulties that can come with having an invisible disability. I want to bring awareness to this not only because it's super important, but also because I feel like it's not talked about enough. When people think disability, a ton of things can come to mind. And what I mean by that is a ton of conditions can come to mind. There are people who, when they hear the word disability, they automatically think physical. Before I was diagnosed with autism and before I knew what autism was, I really just thought about the physical aspects of disabilities. So yes, I've been there too, where I automatically associate a disability with something physical. However, disabilities can come in many forms as they're basically a spectrum, and not all of them are physical. Having invisible disabilities such as autism and mental health conditions and sensory impairments and intellectual disabilities, whatever it is, can be tough because when somebody sees another person with an invisible disability, hence invisible, they might not see any disability at first. And I say tough because unfortunately there are people who, if they see somebody acting a little bit different or whatever it might be, they automatically have a condescending opinion and want to take it out on that person. And such actions include bullying, which comes in many types of forms. And another thing that I want to say too is, if let's just say you see somebody with a cast on their arm, you obviously, or most hopefully obviously, wouldn't ask them to do something with that arm. You hopefully wouldn't ask them to just push through the pain when they have a cast on their arm. However, at times for people with invisible disabilities, sometimes people might not believe them or know and still ask them to just push through whatever it is. There are people who won't take into account what somebody with an invisible disability struggles with and just tell them to get over it. Just because they can't see the disability, they automatically think it's not there. I've been there. I've had people literally say to me, "Oh, Jordan, nah, you don't have autism. You know you don't." I've also had people say to me, "Jordan, no, you don't look like you're autistic. You don't look like you have autism at all." And internally, I'd be like, "You're wrong." And not just on the social aspect of it, but also in the workplace and in academics as well. Accommodations and resources and support might not exist because people can't see the disability and therefore they think there's nothing there. They might even choose to just be like, "No, I don't believe a word of it. They're faking it." How do I know that? Personal experience. Literally, back in elementary and even middle school, I struggled so much with getting a 504. It took me years, and I finally got my needed 504 in 7th grade when I started to try to get it in elementary school. It was really frustrating, especially for my parents too, because they knew a lot more about the 504 than I did, and all I knew at the time was that it was going to help me. There are people who will choose to make fun, to point fingers, to be mean to those people with invisible disabilities. I seriously don't get it. I never have gotten it, and I probably will never get it. It has never made sense to me how somebody lives with themselves just being mean to somebody else for things that they can't control. It's a huge problem, and we need to bring it to a stop. We are all humans. We all have basic needs. Show compassion and respect and love for other people. So I hope that what I said today gave you more clarity into invisible disabilities and why it can be a struggle and how to not add to that struggle. Thank you for tuning into this video and stay tuned for my next one.